The end of British rule and the partition of India triggered a battle for control of Kashmir. Since 1947, neighboring India and Pakistan have each held a portion of the Muslim-majority territory, in a tense standoff that has sparked several wars. A first war began in 1947 after Pakistani tribal militia entered the former princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. The king of the state at the time, Maharaja Hari Singh, asked India for help and signed a letter of accession to India's last British viceroy, Lord Louis Mountbatten. The United Nations Security Council mediated the conflict, and on January 1, 1949, a ceasefire came into effect. A series of border skirmishes led to the 1965 Indo-Pakistani War. The conflict lasted only 17 days, but there were thousands of casualties. During the 1965 war, both sides said they were betrayed by a lack of support from Western powers. India and Pakistan went on to build closer ties with the Soviet Union and China, respectively. In 1999, the so-called Kargil War started with India alleging a Pakistani intrusion in the Kargil district of Kashmir. The war, starting in May of that year, continued until July when India and Pakistan fought to a standoff, which was widely seen as a defeat for Pakistan. Complicating matters is the disputed Aksai Chin area of the northeast of Kashmir, along the border with China. In 1962, China and India fought a brief war there and only reached an agreement to respect Kashmir borders in the mid-1990s. China, however, continues to hold Aksai Chin. In addition to the wars, there have been constant protests, military standoffs, and deadly clashes around Kashmir. The 2016 killing of Burhan Wani, commander of the Kashmiri separatist group, Hizbul Mujahideen, triggered an unprecedented level of violence. The militant leader, with a large following among young people and a strong social media presence, was killed by Indian government forces which consider Wani's organization to be a terrorist group. Thousands of people took to the streets and hundreds were killed in protests and the demonstrations that followed. Among those killed was veteran journalist Sujat Bukhari, who was shot dead along with one of his bodyguards. In June 2018, the United Nations published its first ever report on the ongoing unrest in Kashmir.
This is not a conflict frozen in time. It is a conflict that has robbed millions of their basic human rights and continues to this day to inflict untold suffering. It is essential that the Indian authorities take immediate and effective steps to avoid a repetition of the numerous examples of excessive use of force by security forces in Kashmir.
But despite the UN report including a call for a major investigation into human rights abuses, deadly violence has continued in the disputed territory. At least 324 militants and security personnel were killed in 2018 alone, making the year one of the bloodiest in Kashmir's recent history.